we're going to determine what types of movies should have a thin plot, if any, instead of just looking at the types of movies that have been done in its form in the past, because it helps us recognize whether our content will best fit in a plotless style or not. But what exactly is plot? According to Robert McKee, the author of the book Story, it's a writer's choice of events and their design in time. McKee adds that story events are occurrences that create meaningful change in story values. These values are the universal qualities of human experience that may shift from positive to negative, such as dead to alive or loyalty to betrayal. Story values change when a character has an experience that causes them to have a change in their physical, emotional, or psychological state that considerably influences how they act. In addition, these scenes must have causality, which is often accomplished by this change because it causes other scenes. In contrast, non-events are scenes without a meaningful change in story values, without cause and effect. Some films are mostly or completely plotless, as they contain a collection of non-events. This can be problematic if the film consists of mere verisimilitudes, as it's unengaging and lacks emotional involvement. However, the worthwhile films under this category engage and emotionally move us with their content and form. But what content best suits this style of storytelling? Slice-of-life films are an accurate depiction of one's daily experience of the ordinary in its content, and the ordinary is determined by the standards of their society. It has a thin plot, if any, given that in most daily life, people don't constantly switch from one meaningful state to another. So slice-of-life films would generally fall under the category of plotless cinema. Now, people have aims that they want to reach when creating something like a film, so they should determine the style that will help them best reach it. Now, what aims can slice-of-life films best reach? A major one is when a film is focused on showing profound and universal truths about everyday life. The main idea of a film must be continuously and ideally inexplicitly shown. If it's focused on showing truths about everyday life, someone must be presented experiencing it, and as a consequence, someone experiencing ordinary life would be consistently shown. So films with the aim of presenting truths use the style of slice of life as a means to reach this goal, at least in its content. While all films are unique to a particular culture, they can express a truth that transcends beyond it. And expressing universal truths allows people from everywhere to discover something profound. However, continuously showing the same topic can get boring, so you should present it in different ways and build on the idea. For example, Patterson is a slice-of-life film about the daily life of a bus driver. It's focused on emphasizing that art can be created from the simplest of details of everyday life, through continually showing its protagonist experiencing and then transforming these details into poems. All cultures can transform simple details into art, which makes this truth universal. And a slice-of-life narrative is appropriate for this film, as its aim is presenting a truth about everyday life. While showing truths about everyday life must be shown by someone experiencing them, these need not be our limits. If we choose a formalist style, we can use the language of cinema to convey our ideas as well. But this isn't the only form of plotless cinema. There's also plotless conversation films. Conversation films, primarily consisting of naturalistic conversation, will be plotless, because in real life, these discussions tend to not cause people to shift from one state to another. But under what aim should we make this type of film? When conversation films primarily consist of naturalistic dialogue, they have the benefit of revealing nuances about verbal and body communication. Once again, the main focus of a film must be continuously shown, and if its focus is about the subtleties of communication, then people acting them out must be continuously shown. Hence, one should make a conversation film if their central aim is to convey the nuances of communication. However, it can be further interesting by having the conversation disclose qualities about the characters, and by having engaging discussions on topics. In addition, if a film's main aim is showing a connection between two people, then they should create a conversation film, because people connect over conversations. These would be mostly plotless because, again, during conversations, people generally don't change from one state to another other than from increasing their connection with one another. It is important to note that having a plot or plotless film is one of our means of conveying our points and evoking emotions. We should choose the style depending on the point we're aiming to communicate. Although recent times are largely forgetting about plotless cinema, we should recognize its value, for if we don't, then we miss out on a truly unique side of movies.